What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check updates, what's going on in the United States, daily news, money, investing, pretty much everything you need to know about. And the fourth stimulus check package that the U.S. House of Representatives is now working on, crafting the bill, putting it together, which will be the largest stimulus package ever at $3.5 trillion. We got a lot to cover here today, so if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. Remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you up to date with everything going on in our country. If you find these videos helpful, don't forget to smash the like button for us down below. Let's jump right in. Hurricane Ida is hitting the Gulf Coast, has made landfall. It is a Category 4. It has hit Louisiana and multiple different states with wind gusts of over 150 mile an hour in some cases. You can see it will be hitting multiple different states here over the course of the next few days. Multiple different states are experiencing power outages already. In fact, there is reports that over 200,000 people in Louisiana have now lost power. That is correct. Over 200,000 people in Louisiana are already experiencing power outages. Yeah, so as you can see here, the worst has possibly hit for some parts of Louisiana, as 200,000 plus power outages have been reported in Louisiana. There is multiple reports of flooding, as tens of thousands of people have left their houses and fled to safety. And well, our thoughts and prayers go out to anybody that has been affected at this point. And let us know down below in the comments if you or your family or any friends or family are in the wake of this. As you can see here, it is a Category 4 hurricane, and it will be one of the worst on record. And yeah, words can't express what some people are going through right now in the United States here in the path of this storm. So it is a massive, massive storm. So Fox Business reports that over 1.45 million homeowners are seriously delinquent as the foreclosure moratorium expires. Now, this is different than the eviction moratorium that was just stricken down from the Supreme Court. Mortgage delinquencies are decreasing, but they are still much higher than before the pandemic began. National mortgage delinquencies fell by 5% in July to 4.1%, half the level that they were in May. But about 1.45 million homeowners were still seriously delinquent on their mortgage payments, new data shows. About 1.45 million borrowers remained at least 90 days delinquent at the end of July. These borrowers are in the late stage of delinquencies, but not yet in foreclosure, and represent over 1 million more than at the beginning of the pandemic, this new data shows. However, many of these are currently in forbearance plans with their mortgage servicers. However, Forbes reports that mortgage forbearance is set to end soon for almost 1 million Americans. And here's what you should know. With millions of Americans losing their jobs and the pandemic forcing over 1/3 of all small businesses closed, lawmakers quickly set up mortgage forbearance programs that allowed struggling homeowners to temporarily skip payments. At the height of these programs during the pandemic, the New York Federal Reserve estimated that 9.3 million mortgages were in forbearance. Forbearance basically lets you temporarily skip your payments, mostly without any interest, any payment penalties, or any bad marks on your credit, or any basically bad penalties at all. 18 months later, approximately 1.7 million homeowners still remain in some type of mortgage forbearance plan. But for over half of these households, approximately 900,000 Americans, those plans are set to expire in the next 2 months. A significant portion of those left in this mortgage forbearance programs, about 39% of these people, have credit scores of less than 620. Those with scores under these thresholds are considered to have fair credit or poor credit if they have scores below 570, according to Experian. Yet for those trying to exit mortgage forbearance, poor credit is only one potential hurdle. Problems with miscommunication and long customer service wait times persist. In fact, more than 2,000 customer service complaints about mortgage forbearance has been filed with the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau since the start of the pandemic. That may only get worse as a wave of homeowners is set to face the end of forbearance protection this fall. There's going to be quite a surge of folks exiting forbearance here soon, and that adds an estimated 18,000 homeowners in forbearance that will be evaluated every business day during September and October. Here are the options to do when exiting mortgage forbearance. Number one is to pay back the full amount deferred all at once, which most people won't do because they won't have the money, known as a one lump sum repayment. Again, most people will not do this. The second option is usually a repayment plan through which homeowners repay the forbearance amounts over a set period of time. For example, if the homeowner skipped 3 months of $1,000 monthly payments, they may be offered the option to pay back the extra $250 a month on top of their payment for the next year. The third option, and the most commonly used, is called a deferral or a partial claim, whereby the servicer essentially takes all the missed payments and just moves them to the end of the loan. So when the homeowner refinances, pays off, or sells their home, that's when the forbearance amount is paid off. In some cases, deferring the forbearance amount might extend your mortgage a little longer. So basically, if you got mortgage forbearance for a year, you didn't pay those payments for a year, you just put that year on the end of your mortgage, you didn't pay for a year, you just take that year of payments and you put it at the end, you didn't have any interest or penalties, it's really no harm, no foul, because you didn't have any interest or penalties added on. You just move those payments to the end of the year because, again, you didn't pay the payments for that year, so you still have to pay those payments. You still owe that amount. It's moved to the end of the year. Now, here's an interesting thing is that mortgage forbearance could come back. It's kind of like the student loan payment pause that was just reenacted by Congress right now. That actually goes until January 31st. This will help over 40 million people that have student loan payments right now. It's basically, if you, let's just say your student loan payments were, I'm just going to pick a number out of the air, $500 per month. Basically, it's saying, hey, you don't have to pay this $500 per month student loan payment pause or student loan payments, and you can just start paying it again in January. There's no interest, there's no penalties. Basically, you don't have to pay this payment right now during this pandemic. It's basically takes this burden off your back. No harm, no foul. You can just start paying it again when the forbearance is over. Basically the same kind of thing for your mortgage when the mortgage forbearance was around. But whenever you kind of get into these things, you always got to make sure you read the fine print and take it up with your mortgage company as well. Mortgage forbearance could come back as well, especially as the Biden administration is trying to enact things to help out as many people as possible. And as we see here on this list, we have these 4 things here in green. Well, one of them's in red now, the eviction moratorium, because the Supreme Court just overturned it. You can see here now in red. This is actually the second time that the Supreme Court, which is kind of run by Republicans, or majority by Republicans. There's 6 Republicans on the Supreme Court, 3 Democrats on the Supreme Court. It's a Republican majority, I guess the correct way to say that. And that's exactly how the voting went down in the Supreme Court. They voted on the eviction moratorium. 6 Republicans voted to strike it down. 3 Republicans voted, or 3 Democrats voted to uphold it. And nonetheless, they struck it down. Okay, so this is the second time they struck down the eviction moratorium for renters. Okay, so the Biden administration and Congress is now trying to figure out how, if they can reenact it. The problem is it's a tough situation because it hurts landlords as well. There's a lot of landlords out there that are just regular mom and pop people that have one rental property, and they're being hurt as well because they're not getting rent because there's a renter in there that hasn't paid them rent for a long time, and they're supposed to be getting rent assistance. Remember, the renter gets the rent assistance and they pay it to the landlord. But as we all know, the rent assistance is very, very far behind. These states are really, really far behind. I have a really good video I'll link you to at the end of this video on how to get rent assistance. You can get over $10,000 in rent assistance from the third stimulus check package. You can get over 12 months of your rent paid. But mortgage assistance for your mortgage, one of those type of mortgage assistance is forbearance, where you could, again, last year, it's kind of coming to an end right now. You could have got 12 months or more of not having to pay your mortgage. Basically, it's very similar to this run right here, student loan payment pause or student loan forbearance. They had the same thing for mortgages. In fact, some people are still on it. Over 1 million people are still on it for mortgages. The same thing that is going on for student loan payment pause for anybody on federal student loans. They could reenact this for mortgages, okay? They could reenact another 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months for mortgage forbearance, okay? The vast majority of mortgages are actually owned by federal-backed mortgage companies like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. I always get those two tongue twisted. That is one of the stimulus provisions that they could help people with significantly from these stimulus provisions being discussed, okay? In addition to a forced stimulus check, possible monthly checks like the child tax credits that are monthly checks that are going out right now but are going to end at the end of this year. They want to extend that in this next package, but for 65 million people, 65 million families, those $250 to $300 monthly checks. There's also going to probably be an adult tax credit in this next package, as well as all these other creative ways of internet assistance, utility assistance, rent assistance, possible $25,000 home buyer credit, or if you've bought a home in the last 3 years, you could get a home buyer credit there as well. Medicare expansion to put extra Medicare benefits. The majority of seniors do not have hearing benefits, dental benefits, denture benefits. Lower the Medicare eligibility age to age 60, which would greatly benefit seniors. Again, Bernie Sanders says that 75% of seniors do not have these Medicare benefits, and they want to put that in this next package. There's a lot of creative ways that they're going to put money in a lot of people's pockets through these other type of stimulus benefits that could be in addition to a fourth stimulus check. Okay, we're pushing them, we're urging them. I urge you to email your senators, your representatives, tweet them, call them, contact them on Twitter and say, hey, Bernie Sanders, make sure you include a fourth stimulus check. Hey, AOC. Hey, Elizabeth Warren. Hey, President Biden. Hey, pretty much your representative, everybody that's Pramila Jayapal right now, Rashida Tlaib, Nancy Pelosi, everybody that is discussing this fourth stimulus check package right now, make sure you include a fourth stimulus check. But in addition to the fourth stimulus check, there's going to be all these other things here that they're talking about, stimulus programs that are going to probably put money in people's pockets. $10,200 unemployment credits for this year. Remember, the $10,200 unemployment credit was for last year, was for 2020. They could put that in this next package. Lower prescription drug prices. There's like 3 or 4 different ways they want to lower prescription drug prices that could be in this next package. So the mortgage forbearance could be something that comes back. You can see here there's about 1.6 million homeowners that are still on mortgage forbearance, which basically, if they bring it back, you actually could be something that you might not have to pay your mortgage for the next 3 months, 6 months, or 12 months. It's basically like the student loan payment pause. If you're one of the 40-some million Americans that are on the student loan payment pause, it basically just means you don't have to pay your payments for the next 6 months. The mortgage forbearance is one of those creative little stimulus programs that could come back as well. Also, I want to note that mortgage rates, mortgage interest rates are literally at an all-time low. They're at an all-time low. I just refinanced my mortgage rate. I'm on a what's called a 5-1 arm, where it locks in the interest rate for 5 years. And I'm with a company called Fifth Third, and my interest rate is 2.4%. I think it's 2.4%. It's crazy how low mortgage interest rates are. So, if you haven't refinanced your mortgage, if you have a home mortgage, you might want to look into that. They have low cost interest rates, mortgage rates now. They can actually put the closing costs into your mortgage where you don't have to basically come up with any out of cost money. And a lot of times they can lower your costs significantly, where you basically just walk in there with no money and walk out of there with a lower monthly payment. Walk in there, sign the deal, walk. I'm not even going to recommend any particular bank. That's the bank I'm with, but they're only like a regional. I'm in Ohio. They only do like certain states. You can look them up if you want. I'm not sponsored or anything by them, but I've been with them for many, many years. It's a cool little program because I can literally call them up and just lock in the new rate by just paying it's like a $250 fee. I can lock in the new rate at any given time without going through the whole refinancing process. It's a pretty cool program. There's not many banks that do that. But if you have a mortgage and you haven't refinanced in a long time, and you're paying like 4, 5, 6% or more, you probably would save many, many thousands of dollars over the course of your loan, probably even tens of thousands of dollars in straight up interest. Might be something to look into. If you're a math person like I am, I'm a math person. You can sit down and go to Google and just type in mortgage calculator, mortgage rate calculator. Be careful if you fill out one of those mortgage rate forms. You might get bombarded by a lot of people calling you. You might want to do that, you might not. But I just want to say that that's an interesting thing to do, because if you have like a 30-year mortgage, a 20-year mortgage, or 10-year mortgage left, you literally can save tens of thousands of dollars over the course of your loan, simply by just taking advantage of the all-time rates. I mean, like I said, I'm at it's 2.39 or 2.4% on a 5-1 arm. If you go with a traditional 30-year rate, I think it's like 3%, a little bit over 3%, uh, drastically lower rates. So, if you've been in your home for a while, rates way back in the day used to be way higher, way higher. Interest rates have just literally been coming down over the course of decades. So to think that you can get a home rate for 2 or 3 or under 4% can just save you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So something interesting to look into. Mortgage forbearance. Again, mortgage forbearance is coming to an end. So I'm not sure if you can really apply for it right now if you're not in a mortgage forbearance program, but it's something that could come back as they're trying to bring in new stimulus programs. This is something they do not need to do through Congress. Um, just like they did the eviction protection, of course, the Supreme Court struck it down. So the mortgage forbearance is not something that would be challengeable. It's kind of like the SNAP raise, the SNAP increase, and the student loan payment pause. That's not really something that can be challenged. But the eviction moratorium, it's a much more difficult decision, because there's two sides of the story. You have the renters and you have the landlords. You have two different people that are very being affected. Of course, we have the renters, and nobody wants to throw renters out on the street. I mean, we can definitely see their side of the story and feel for them, and you picture a mom and 2 kids and potentially being thrown out and being evicted, right? And then on the other hand, I've seen lots and lots of stories that I've seen, and I even seen a comment. I can't remember who it was. I get a lot of comments. Somebody said that there was a lady who had like 2 or 3 rental properties, and she herself was being thrown out on the streets because her renters were not paying rent, and she doesn't have enough money to pay for her own property and her own rentals because her renters are not paying rent. And she can't evict them and she can't put a new renter in. So she herself is losing her properties. Like I said, a lot of landlords are regular old everyday people. In fact, a lot of retirees take out a property as part of their retirement. Yeah. So I think Congress and the president has learned that rent assistance is a nice idea. There's over 40, almost $50 billion in rent assistance available right now. So not quite $50 billion, but there's like $40 billion still available. I'll link it to a video on how to get it. But I think that they realize that stimulus checks are a much easier way to just get money to people immediately. I mean, you issue a stimulus check, it goes out and it boom, it's just available. You just get it right away. Now, I understand in not all cases that everybody gets it because some people are still waiting on their third stimulus checks. And we've seen the horror stories of some people that their first and second stimulus checks, they just don't get them. Whether they send them to the wrong address or somebody moves or changes their bank accounts or the IRS just makes an error. Some people have to claim them on their tax returns. So remember, when you're sending out 150 million stimulus checks, sometimes things fall through the cracks. But the stimulus checks do go out much faster. I mean, some people got their stimulus checks literally within 2 days after they passed the packages. Where this rent assistance, only 11% of it's gone out. But there's been multiple rounds of rent assistance. That first stimulus check package, some of our people, you can see down below in the comments, if you've gotten rent assistance, please comment down below. Some people have gotten 3 months of rent assistance, 6 months of rent assistance, 12 months or more of rent assistance. We have had people on viewers of our show here, our extended family, that have gotten over $10,000 or $15,000 of rent assistance. So if you lost your job and you get rent assistance, it could literally save your family. Okay. Now, all the qualifications for each state are different. Some states you have to be behind on rent. Some states you don't. So each state is different. I'll link you to a video here on how to qualify for rent assistance. You might want to share it with a friend or family member on how to get it, how to apply for it. Even if you apply for it and you're not behind on rent, it might be worth just applying for it, even if you're just low income. Some states, all you have to do to be qualified is just be low income. So again, if you're low income, go ahead and apply. And a lot of these states have a waiting list because these states are just really far behind. And you never know, you just might a month from now you might get the rent assistance, and then you could be like, "Hey, Jimmy, guess what? I got $5,000 or $10,000 in rent assistance," and then you can be like, "Hey, I hit the lottery. It's my lucky day." And all it did was take you a little bit of time, and you watched this show. So I'm just here helping as many people as I can. It's a perk of the third stimulus check package. This money is available to you guys. So I'm here helping out as many people as I can. There's going to be a lot of programs like this in the next stimulus check package. We don't know exactly what they're going to be, but this next stimulus package is going to be almost twice the size of the next package. There's going to be free college in there. There's going to be all sorts of programs that put money in people's pocket. There's going to be Medicare benefits. There's going to be a lot of things in this next stimulus package. So once the package passes and we find out, we dig through all the programs that are going to be in there, we'll figure out together what's going to be in there, and we'll figure out what's going to be available to you guys. So I'll keep you up to date. Make sure to subscribe down below. Share this video with your friends and family. Click the bell icon to get notifications after subscribing. It appears after you subscribe next to the subscribe button, and I'll keep you up to date. Remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video is how to apply for rent assistance. It's about halfway through the video. You can share that video with friends or family. Anybody you think that might be qualified or just to apply for rent assistance. It shows you how to find rent assistance in your state. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.